The Federal Airport Administration did not wish to be interviewed for Mythbusters. They did, however, send a fax confirming many of the key details of Larry's story, including his $1,500 fine.
I would only do it again if it was sanctioned by the FAA and if it had FAA approval. So it doesn't look like I'd be doing it again.
When we first heard about this gag, remember I told you, like, if there was one person anywhere of any time in the Earth's history that I would like to meet, it'd be this guy. I think this is inspired. You know, I'd like to just shake his hand.
Hi, my name is Mark Berry, author of the official website for Larry Walters, the lawn chair pilot, and you're watching Mythbusters.
So what do we have here?
We have the poppy seed drug test.
That's usually not even told in story form, just as like an unsubstantiated rumor.
The myth is that eating a couple of poppy seed bagels or poppy seed cake in the morning could cause you to test positive for opiate use on a drug screen.
If I go out and look, I'll see as many people asserting that you can't test positive with poppy seeds as many saying you can. So it's still an alive question.
So what do you think we're going to need for this test?
Well, we've got the bagels, and we've got some poppy seed bread, it says, and we need containers for urine, and the drug test kits. That's about it.
We are afraid of random drug testing. I myself find the whole concept to be abhorrent, yet I want my pilot and my bus driver to be clean. I want them to be random drug tested.
So we're going to eat some poppy seeds. You're going to eat some bagels. I'm going to eat some cake.
I understand we can't eat anything else until we're done with this.
I think we need to drink lots of water because we have to cough up a half a dozen urine samples today.
Yeah.
Keep testing about every hour, every 2 hours, and maybe at 4 hours, 8 hours, and then tomorrow morning, and see what the tests register. Perhaps one of us should eat a very little, and one of us should eat a lot.
We're both about the same body weight.
We're both about the same body weight, about 185, 180, somewhere in there.
We bought kits over the web, a bargain at just $16.95 for 10.
So I think we ought to do a sample as a control before we start.
Adam!
Come on, hurry up in there!
Yeah.
This test sample will ensure it's poppy seeds.
Yeah, I hope I don't get pea shy.
And poppy seeds alone that is responsible for a positive result. There's no tampering with the evidence on Mythbusters.
You take 3 drops and put it on the end of the test. There's one for you, one for me. Oh, it comes with an eyedropper.
How clever.
So if it's negative, 2 lines appear. 1 red line in the control region, another apparent red or pink line should be in the test region. Positive, 1 red line appears in the control region and no line in the test region.
So you put 3 drops.
Okay, so that's testing showing negative.
The screening urine tests are an aminoassay test. What that means is they have antibodies directed towards the compound that it's looking for. They look for the codeine and morphine in the urine with this. So those are exactly the same thing that is tested for in heroin, because heroin is broken down to those 2 substances.
So we're both negative.
Yes. Yeah, I haven't used drugs for weeks, so.
Now for the tough questions.
Cake is heads, bagels or tails.
But who's who? Look, you call it in the air and you get to choose.
Okay. Heads.
Cake!
All right.
It's one of my favorite things in the world. Love poppy seed cake.
The poppy seeds definitely have morphine and codeine in them, so they are the heroin poppy seeds. But they are very low concentrations, so you don't get the physical and mental effects from them.
One of the articles had said that somebody who had eaten like 23 grams of poppy seeds had started acting silly and goofy, and I'm not sure where you could determine that that would begin with me. I think this is going to cure me of my love for poppy seed cake once and for all. Almost down to the last bite. Here we go.
There it is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
Boy, that cake looked like it was pretty good. It's a lot better than a bagel.
No, I'm thinking twice now. The 2,600 calories.
Oh, man.
Polish it off there, big guy. Oh, yeah. You animal. You are an animal. You first.
It's now half an hour since we started eating poppy seeds. Time for our second test.
I gotta go. This may be a positive right here.
Kind of looks that way. That's amazing.
That's impressively fast. I've just tested positive for opiates.
Whoops. No one expected that.
Now we'll see how long it lasts. I feel like a little goofy. Wow, I'm impressed that it's metabolized that fast. I wouldn't have called that.
Yeah, I wouldn't either.
I think I'm going to take a nap. I'm exhausted.
You're busted.
Yeah.
You're done.
No.
One of our employees has just tested positive. Now what should we do?
I'm wondering if your opiate instant test for opiates is sensitive enough that it might yield a false positive.
Wow. My understanding is they won't show a false positive, but
I've called about 5 of these folks, and you're the first one to even who's ever pretended to have heard of a false positive from poppy seeds.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, a false positive is when the drug test comes back positive for an illicit drug when that illicit drug was not taken.
The test can detect between 300 and 1,200 nanograms, or billionths of a gram of codeine.
Okay.
At that level, there's no way to distinguish between poppy seeds and heroin use.
I mean, that's like the smoking gun we've been looking for. We have to go to Europe for it. Oh, there's a new bill in Congress to suppress all studies regarding the fallibility of American products.
One study showed that some of them were actually at a 50% false positive rate, meaning that you're better off just flipping a coin rather than even doing the test.
The indignity continues.
I think I've just succeeded. Yep. Kind of looks that way to me. Yep.
Looks like you might have tested positive. Welcome to the club there, brother. Yeah.
Dude.
Now we've got 2 employees testing positive. Maybe we should double-check our findings.
Do you guys provide a service whereby if we get a positive, we can send it to you to confirm that it's a positive and not a false positive? You don't.
We sell the products, but we don't get into that aspect of it.
Thanks very much.
Yeah, well, the pre-employment tests, they should, if they are doing things right, should do the screening test first and then go on to the more accurate gas chromatograph mass spectrometer, which it also has its problems, but it is more accurate.
It's now 4 hours since bagel consumption, and there is still no tampering with the evidence.
Ah, you're still positive.
I'm still positive. Still positive after all these hours.
So is it going to be a girl or a boy, do you think?
I ate a hell of a lot, but you only ate 3 bagels. That's not, unheard of. And you're still testing positive 4 hours later. I'm pretty surprised.
I probably wouldn't have believed it myself if I actually hadn't been the newspaper reporter there writing a story about it.
In 1997, Larry covered the case of a Florida woman who sued after her employer withdrew a lucrative job offer.
She ate 2 poppy seed bagels in her car on the way to St. Petersburg the morning of the interview. And that apparently was enough, quickly enough, to make her turn up a positive result on one of these tests.
Here on Mythbusters, nothing gets in the way of science. It's now 8 hours since bagel consumption.
Tonight we have a special dip. It is the finest sauce in all of France. Okay.
And we're both clearly positive for opiates. Frankly, I'm amazed. Such a little thing. It's a very effective test.
Let's throw out this toxic waste.
The studies show up to 72 hours testing positive after ingestion of a poppy seed bagel. We probably average getting 10 calls a day of people who have been, devastated, have lost their jobs due to false positive tests. And that is the calls that we get. I mean, there's, tens of thousands of people, that just every year lose their jobs and actually don't even know because they're not even told they tested positive on the pre-employment test.
Ready to get started this morning?
It's now 18 hours since bagel ingestion.
Do you think you're going to be positive? Do you think you'll still test positive?
I think I'm going to test positive. I don't have anything to base that on. It just seemed awfully consistent,
Right.
Yeah, it's a little faint. I would interpret that as there's a trace because the other one is stronger.
I think on the literature, if I'm correct, it actually states that if there's even a hint of a line, it's a negative.
Okay.
I mean, we don't have any way of knowing what that threshold is.
Yeah.
So, what's the verdict? Do you think it's a myth or is it true?
Oh, it's clearly true. We ate a normal amount of poppy seed bagels and poppy seed products, and they showed positive on the test for a fairly long period of time.
I think it's thought of as a legend because it has been downplayed by the drug testing industry.
You see a poppy seed bagel sitting on your counter and you think there's breakfast. You don't think there's something that could cause me to lose a job, get in trouble, get arrested. That's just not what you think when you're looking at your first meal of the morning.
I'm Dr. Ronald Brancaccio. I'm a dermatologist and practice in New York City. And you're watching Mythbusters.
Goldfinger. You may not know, or you may remember that in 1964, the movie Goldfinger.
Shirley Eaton was an actress who played the role of a secretary
For the evil Auric Goldfinger.
After, I think, betraying her boss, she apparently was murdered by having her skin painted with gold.
The story goes that if you paint your whole body with gold paint, your skin will not be able to breathe. The solution to this, supposedly, is to leave a small patch at the base of your spine.
To test this, Jamie is going to run on a treadmill for 10 minutes as we measure his vital signs. Then we'll paint him up, and he'll run again, and we'll see if there's a change.
Do you have ideas about what we should cover you in? I mean, I wouldn't do it with, like, oil-based or enamel paint or something like that.
Obviously, I'm not going to grab a spray can of gold paint and just go for it.
Though.
Yeah, it'd be fun, but it probably wouldn't be flexible enough anyway. So if you're looking for a flexible paint, that would be latex, and the gold we can essentially make a gold paint. I believe that's what they do for. Sometimes people do this to go out and party, and
right.
They strip down and paint their clothing on.
We've got these for you. And I think you'll probably want to wear these even after the show because they're so fabulous.